Learn English easily with Pro English.
Welcome back to the Speak English podcast. Today, we are going to be a little bit controversial. I am going to tell you something that might make you angry. Motivation is garbage. If you are waiting for motivation to learn English, you will fail. Motivation is an emotion. It comes and it goes. It is unreliable. Today, we are going to talk about the only thing that actually works: habits. We will learn the 2-minute rule, the environment design, and how to trick your lazy brain into studying.
Motivation is garbage. That is a strong opening, Michael. But honestly, I need to hear this. I am a motivation junkie. I watch motivational videos on YouTube. I buy new notebooks. I feel super excited. For 3 days, and then I quit. I feel tired. I feel lazy. And then I feel guilty. It is a terrible cycle. I want to know how to stop the cycle. How do I study when I don't want to?
You have described the cycle perfectly. That is the boom and bust cycle. High energy boom, zero energy bust. The solution is to stop relying on willpower. Willpower is like a battery. It runs out. We need to build a system. Let's start with the most important concept from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. The one rule. You don't need to improve by 50 in one day. You just need to improve by 1 every day. If you get 1 better every day for a year, you will be 37 times better by the end of the year.
37 times better. That sounds like math magic, but one feels so small. It feels insignificant. If I learn one word today, does that really matter? My brain says, go big or go home.
Go big or go home is terrible advice for language learning. It should be, go small and keep going. If you learn 1 word a day, that is 365 words a year. That is almost A2 level vocabulary. But the problem is friction. Friction is anything that makes it hard to start. If your textbook is in the drawer under a pile of papers, that is high friction. If your guitar is in the case in the closet, you will never play it. We need to lower the friction. We need to make it lazy-proof.
Lazy-proof. I like that. I am very lazy. So how do I design my life to be lazy-proof? If I want to study English in the morning, but I usually just scroll on Instagram, what do I do?
You use environment design. Your environment dictates your behavior. If your phone is next to your bed, you will look at it. Step 1. Put your phone in the other room or the kitchen at night. Step 2. Put your English book open to the page, on your pillow or nightstand. When you wake up, the path of least resistance is the book, not the phone. You make the good habit easy and the bad habit hard.
Put the phone in the kitchen. That sounds terrifying. My alarm is on my phone, but I see the logic. If I have to walk to the kitchen to turn off the alarm, I am already awake. Okay, what about the 2-minute rule? I have heard this mentioned. Is it really just 2 minutes?
Yes, the rule is, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Most people say, I will read for 30 minutes. That is scary. Your brain says no, too hard. Change it to, I will read 1 page, 2 minutes, or I will open my notebook. 10 seconds. The goal is not to study. The goal is to show up. Once you start, it is easy to continue. But the start is the hardest part. The 2-minute rule hacks the start.
So I trick my brain. Just 1 page, Sarah. And then usually I will read 5 pages. But if I only read 1, I am still successful. I don't fail.
Exactly. You kept the habit alive. A habit must be established before it can be improved. If you go to the gym for 2 minutes every day, you are becoming the type of person who goes to the gym. That is an identity shift. I am a reader. I am a student. Once you have the identity, the results follow. But let's talk about habit stacking. This is my favorite technique. You already have strong habits: brushing teeth, making coffee, showering. Stack the new habit on top of the old habit. Formula: after I current habit, I will new habit.
Okay, after I brush my teeth, I will learn 3 verbs. After I pour my coffee, I will listen to 1 minute of a podcast. It acts like a trigger.
Yes, the old habit is the trigger. If you try to study at 5 p.m., you will forget. Or you will be busy. but you will always brush your teeth. The trigger is guaranteed. So, connect English to your biological necessities. Coffee, bathroom, bed. What is one habit you do every single day without fail?
I definitely make coffee every morning. I am a zombie without it, so, while the coffee is brewing that takes about 3 minutes, I will. Maybe I can talk to myself in English. Narrate the coffee process.
Perfect, I am pouring the water. I am getting the spoon. That is 3 minutes of speaking practice every single day with zero extra time cost. You are waiting anyway. This is called dead time. Commuting, waiting in line, washing dishes. Fill the dead time with English. Don't try to find extra time. You don't have extra time. Use the dead time.
Dead time, that is smart. I spend a lot of time washing dishes. I usually just worry about life. I could listen to a podcast instead. But Michael, what about the dip? You know, after 2 weeks, the excitement is gone. The New Year's resolution energy is dead. I call this the valley of despair. What do I do when I am in the valley?
The valley is where most people quit. When you are in the valley, you need accountability. Willpower is internal. Accountability is external. If you promise yourself you will study, you can break the promise. Nobody knows. If you promise me you will study and I ask you tomorrow, did you study? You feel social pressure. You don't want to look bad, so find an accountability partner.
Like a gym buddy, did you do your verbs? Yes, did you read your page? That sounds helpful, but I don't have friends who are learning English.
You don't need a friend. You can use an app like a streak counter or a community online, or simply tell your spouse roommate, if I don't study English for 10 minutes today, I have to wash the dishes for a week. Put a penalty on it. Loss aversion is powerful. We hate losing money time more than we love gaining skills. If I miss a day, I owe you 10. Trust me, you will study.
Putting money on the line, that is high stakes, but it works. I hate losing money. Okay, let's summarize the habit toolkit. 1 rule, small improvements compound. Environment design, hide the phone, show the book. 2-minute rule. Make it impossibly easy to start. Habit stacking, after coffee, English. Accountability, find a partner or a penalty, but there is one more thing, identity. You mentioned I am a reader. Usually I say I am trying to learn English. Is that bad language?
Yes, I am trying to learn implies failure is possible. It implies it is a temporary struggle. Change it to, I am an English speaker, even if you are bad, or I am a learner. When you change your identity, you don't need willpower. A vegetarian doesn't use willpower to avoid meat. They just don't eat meat. It's who they are. If you believe I am the type of person who never misses a day of English, you will just do it.
Fake it until you make it. I need to wear the costume of an English speaker until it fits. Okay, Michael, I am feeling, not motivated but strategic. I feel like I have a plan, not just a feeling. But what about when I break the chain? I know myself. I will do this for 10 days, and then on day 11, I will get sick or busy, and I will miss a day. Then I will feel like a failure and quit. How do I recover from a break?
That is the never miss twice rule. Missing 1 day is an accident. Missing 2 days is the start of a new bad habit. If you miss day 11, don't panic. Just make sure you do day 12. Don't try to be perfect. Try to be consistent. In part 2, we are going to talk about the Goldilocks rule, how to make sure the task isn't too hard or too easy, and how to track your progress visually using the paperclip strategy.
The paperclip strategy. That sounds intriguing. I am ready to build some habits. Let's take a break. Fin delaparte 1. Quieres gener la parte 2, turnos 31 a 60, TEMA, Motivation is Garbage, Part 2. Visualizing Progress, the Goldilocks Rule, DURACIN PARTE 2, 15 minutos aprox.
Welcome back to part 2. Before the break, I teased the paperclip strategy. This comes from a stockbroker who was incredibly successful. Every morning, he started with 2 jars on his desk. One jar was filled with 120 paper clips. The other jar was empty. Every time he made a sales call, he moved 1 paper clip from the full jar to the empty jar. He didn't stop until the first jar was empty.
Moving paper clips, it sounds so primitive. Why did that make him successful? Couldn't he just write down the number?
Writing down numbers is abstract. Moving a physical object is visually satisfying. You see the pile of work shrinking and the pile of success growing. For English learners, you can do this. Get 2 jars or cups. Put 10 marbles or coins or paper clips in one. Every time you learn a new word or every time you speak for 1 minute, move a marble. Your goal is to move all 10 marbles before you sleep. It gives you a tiny hit of dopamine every time you move one. It gamifies the process.
I love gamification. It's like a progress bar in real life. I can use coins, 10 coins of English. But what about tracking days? I heard about the Seinfeld strategy. The comedian Jerry Seinfeld. He used a calendar, right?
Yes, his rule was simple: to be a better comic, write jokes every day. He put a big red X on a wall calendar every day he wrote. After a few days, you have a chain of X's. Your only job is, don't break the chain. If you miss a day, the chain breaks and you have to start at 0. Psychologically, we hate breaking the chain.
Don't break the chain. I can do that. I will buy a big calendar. But Michael, what happens if the habit gets boring or too hard? Sometimes I start a book and it's so difficult I want to cry, so I stop. Or sometimes it's so easy I fall asleep. How do I find the balance?
That brings us to the Goldilocks rule. Remember the story of Goldilocks. This porridge is too hot, this porridge is too cold, this one is just right. The human brain loves a challenge, but only if it is a manageable difficulty. If the task is too hard, anxiety, you quit. If the task is too easy, boredom, you quit. You need to be in the Goldilocks zone, also known as the flow state. Scientific research suggests a task should be about 4 harder than your current ability.
4 harder. That is very precise. So, if I am reading a book and I have to look up every single word, that is too hard. That is the anxiety zone. And if I am reading The Cat in the Hat, that is the boredom zone. I need to find a book where I know maybe 80 to 90 of the words.
Exactly. That is why graded readers, which we discussed in the reading episode, are so powerful. They keep you in the Goldilocks zone. If you feel bored, increase the difficulty immediately. Challenge yourself to speak faster. If you feel overwhelmed, decrease the difficulty. Read a shorter text. You have to manage your own difficulty level to stay in the game. Flow is the antidote to boredom.
Okay, so if I hate my study session, it's probably not because I am lazy, it's because the difficulty is wrong. That is a huge relief. It's a design problem, not a character flaw. Now, let's talk about rewards. Learning a language is a long game. The reward fluency is years away. Our brains evolved to want berries now, not a farm in 5 years. How do I hack this immediate gratification need?
You have to bundle the habit with a short-term reward. After I finish my 15 minutes of English, I allow myself to check Instagram/TikTok for 15 minutes. Or, I can only eat this piece of chocolate after I do my Duolingo lesson. You are training your brain. English equals chocolate. Eventually, the English itself becomes rewarding because you see progress, but in the beginning, use the chocolate.
Bribery, I am bribing myself like a child. Do your homework and you get a cookie. Hey, if it works, it works. What about the mindset shift? You mentioned earlier that I have to study is a bad phrase. I have to go to work. I have to learn verbs. It sounds like a prison sentence.
It implies burden. It implies you are a victim. Change one word, HAVE, get. I get to study English. I get to go to the gym. I get to wake up early. It changes it from a burden to a privilege. Do you know how many people in history would love to have access to the internet and learn a global language for free? You are lucky to have this challenge. I get to build a new brain.
I get to. That is a subtle shift, but I feel it. It adds gratitude. I get to struggle with phrasal verbs. Okay, that one is harder to be grateful for, but I will try. Michael, let's look at the concept of systems versus goals. Everyone says set goals. My goal is C1 level. Why do you say goals are overrated?
Because winners and losers have the same goals. Every athlete at the Olympics has the goal of winning gold, but only one wins. So the goal cannot be the thing that makes the difference. The difference is the system, the training routine, the diet, the sleep. If you ignore the goal and just focus on the system, the daily habit, you will get the results. If you focus only on the goal, you will be miserable until you achieve it. Fall in love with the process, not the result.
Fall in love with the process. That means falling in love with the boring parts. The repetition, the mistakes. That is the hard part. We love the movie montage, where the character learns everything in 3 minutes. Real life is just Tuesday morning with a grammar book.
Exactly. There is a famous quote. The only difference between the master and the beginner is that the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. You have to be willing to be bad at it for a long time. Embrace the suck. I suck at this right now and that is okay. I am showing up.
Embrace the suck. I am going to write that on my mirror. Okay, let's recap our habit architecture. Environment, phone in the kitchen, book on the pillow, tracking, paper clips or calendar X's, visual proof, difficulty, Goldilocks zone, not too hard, not too easy, language, I get to, not I have to, focus, system over goal.
That is a solid foundation. If you do these things, you don't need motivation. You become a machine, a learning machine. And one day you will wake up and realize, wait, I just spoke English for an hour and it wasn't hard. That is the compound interest kicking in.
I can't wait for that day. But for now, I will settle for moving my 10 paper clips today. Michael, this has been surprisingly inspiring for an episode that started by calling motivation garbage.
Sometimes you need a little tough love. English is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Actually, it's not even a marathon, it's a lifestyle. You don't finish eating healthy, you just eat healthy. You don't finish English, you just live it.
You don't finish English. That is scary but true. It's a relationship for life. Thank you, Michael. I am going to go stack my habits now. Coffee plus podcast.
Excellent plan. To everyone listening, don't break the chain. See you in the next episode.
Buy and put your phone in the kitchen. Findel episodiocomplito. Turnos 1 a 60 completados. Duración total 30 minutos.